Fake seed in the Nigerian agricultural sector is affecting the level of production by farmers. That's according to the National Agricultural Seeds Council. This has partly led to the general decline in the growth rate of agriculture's contribution to the gross domestic product from 4.27% in 2014 to 3.72% in 2015. My guest on this week's episode of the program is from the National Agricultural Seed Council. Hello there, welcome to Dateline Abuja. I'm Gloria Umezuke. Nigeria has an estimated national demand of over 350,000 metric tons of certified seeds every year, and that's according to the National Agricultural Seed Council. However, the nation produces less than a quarter of that national demand. We shall be looking at that in our interview segment. But first, what are the stories that made the headlines within the week in the nation's capital? Ahead of the Osun State governorship election, the state's resident electoral commissioner is expressing serious concern about the phenomenon of vote buying and called for an urgent need to strengthen collaboration between the police and the electoral umpire in order to curb the trend.
Vote buying, card reader, how do we address that? It is true that INEC has publicly avowed that it is going to deal ruthlessly. But the Police Service Commission acknowledged that 35 cases were reported. INEC does not have the power of arrest. He does not have the power of investigation. But INEC has the power of prosecution. What is the legal department of INEC doing?
The Federal Executive Council has approved the sum of 6.07 trillion naira for a comprehensive healthcare plan in the country. Addressing State House correspondents after the weekly meeting presided over by Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo, the Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, explained that the new plan covering 2018 to 2022 will reduce maternal mortality by 31%.
The plan essentially has 5 strategic pillars and 15 priority areas. And these 5 strategic pillars include enabling environment for attainment of health sector goals, increased utilization of essential package of health care services, strengthening our health system, and protection from health emergencies, as well as health finance. In total, this new plan has 15 thematic areas, 48 strategic objectives, and 282 interventions that will help us to really improve the healthcare delivery that we offer our people. This plan will usher Nigeria into a new era, and Council, in its wisdom, approved this plan for implementation.
3 police officers have been dismissed and another one suspended over the raid of the Asokoro resident of elder statesman Pa Edwin Clark. The officers were part of the team that allegedly stormed the residence in search of illicit weapons. Following the failure of the men to recover any weapon, the police hierarchy have distanced themselves from the action and tendered apologies to the Ijaw leader. Although he accepted the apology, Pa Clark expressed strong doubts that the men who carried out the raid were unauthorized. The police spokesperson, Mr. Jimoh Moshood, insists that the officers acted on tip from an informant who has been arrested and is now facing prosecution.
I wish to reiterate that the Inspector General of Police is not aware and did not order the raid of the residence of Chief Edwin Clark. Secondly, he subsequently and promptly directed the immediate detention of the 4 police personnel involved and the informant that I'm parading before you today. And equally directed that the Inspector General of Police Monitoring Unit to investigate the search by police personnel on the residence of the elder statesman Chief Edwin Clark. The name of the informant is Ismail Yakubu of Waru Village, Abuja.
South Africa and Nigeria will continue to collaborate in the fight to combat terrorism. Speaking at a lecture organized by the Nigeria Defense College in Abuja, the South African Army Chief says the challenging issues of terrorism, kidnappings and other vices on the continent calls for close collaboration.
AU must consider robust military intervention. The robust military intervention through regional security cooperation will be in line with the AU Constitutive Act, Article 4H, and the UN responsibility to protect.
Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo says the federal government is committed to improving the welfare of petty traders through the Tradermoni initiative. He was speaking when he launched the initiative in Abuja.
We want to encourage traders, petty, so that they will have money, enough money to do their business, enough money to sell. We have done the one before of the bigger traders. That one is cheap, 100,000, 120,000. But we will do that if you do well with the 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, then we can increase it. Everybody, every one of us can benefit from this thing.
The federal government plans to review pre-primary and primary school curriculum to develop a system of code writing for pupils at the earliest stage of education. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo made this known when he received the Nigerian girls that won the World Technovation Challenge in the Silicon Valley in San Francisco, United States, last month.
The preschool education and also primary education, our new curriculum, some of what we're looking at is a variant of STEM. So we're looking at science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. So this is STEAM as opposed to STEM. We've already drawn up an indicative curriculum on this, and some of the work we're doing, we're developing a system of code writing, so that from pre-primary, young people can begin to learn code writing. They can also begin to learn development of applications and all that. So for us, this is existential. We have no choice but to ensure that young people, especially from pre-primary to primary school and on, are able to learn to use technology in innovative and creative ways.
President Muhammadu Buhari has returned to the country after attending the Forum on China and Africa Cooperation in Beijing, China. During the 6-day visit, President Buhari held bilateral talks with his Chinese counterpart. He witnessed the signing of some agreements between Nigeria and China in the areas of information and communication technology, security, the economy, and several others. The Chief of Army's Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, has warned that the Army will deal decisively with anybody who might attempt to breach the peace during the exercise. General Buratai issued the warning while briefing journalists after he met with principal staff officers and operational commanders at the Army headquarters.
We must make it clear that all political talks, militants, kidnappers and other criminal elements positively identified with weapons will be dealt with decisively.
Over 84 million Nigerians have registered to vote in the 2019 general elections under the Independent National Electoral Commission's continuous voter registration exercise. The Commission's chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, gave the figures while giving an account of the exercise, which ended on August the 31st.
14,551,482 new voters were registered. If this figure is added to the existing register of 69,720,350 voters, it means that the nation now has a voter population of 84,271,832. Although the figure may slightly drop after we run the automatic fingerprint identification system. The current figure represents 21% increase on the existing register.
The National Emergency Management Agency has issued flood alerts warning in some states following a rise in water level to over 10.1 meters, which is not too far away from the 12 point attained in September 2012, when the nation experienced her worst flood disaster.
We set up a committee of five groups of three personnel from various sectors to visit the frontline state, to meet with the officials, to go down to the villages that are really critically under threat, use all avenues to enlighten them